Joining us now to discuss the recent suspension of tennis's world number one, Jannik Sinner, is journalist from La Stampa and also the editor-in-chief of Il Tennis Italiano magazine, the oldest tennis magazine still published in the world. It's Stefano Semeraro. Stefano, thank you so much for joining us here on This Sporting Planet. First things first, if you can, just give us the background on this story with regards to Jannik Sinner.
No, is as you can imagine, is a big story here in Italy and all over the world. And the problem is started more or less 1 year ago with the double test that Yannick didn't pass about the clostebol, this prohibited substance, and then and now you probably the all the step of the story, and then he uh, and we learn in August that there has been a trial, and then nobody really um, made it public, and so was just on the eve of the U.S. Open was a big story and something shocking for the tennis community. And then the WADA, the anti-doping agency, made this trying to restart the process, appealing to the international sports court in Lausanne. But that suddenly, one week ago, then we learned that the two parts they reached an agreement, and so we had this 3 months ban, which is I think, in my opinion, is the best solution for both Jannik Sinner, for the anti-doping agency, and for the world of tennis. I know there are still running a lot of talkings about polemics about the way how all this story has been managed. This is the big question mark, I think, because the agency told us that Yannick is innocent. He is not a dope guy, as was just an accident with his team, with these things that his physio used to have a message on him, and so is. But the problem is the responsibility, because it's not his fault, but as a tennis player, as a pro athlete, he's in charge of what his teams is doing. So this is the main question, and I think this is the point that the agency would like to hold. But at the end, so we have 3 months without Sinner, which is in Italy is a very 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 famous and very loved personality, and now we all trying to understand what he's gonna do in these 3 months. And now he will be in at the end of the ban in at the beginning of May for the Italian Open. So this is more or less the story, and then and there is still so many talking, so many every day on the newspapers, on the TV. There are discussion about this the old story, and now Yannick is skiing near his hometown in the north of Italy, doing a lot of selfies and videos to his fans. So he's still very popular.
Yes, indeed. I mean, you're right. WADA did come out and say, like, they don't believe he intended to cheat. They don't believe there was any performance enhancing benefit to any of this. But as you say, it's a reminder that players need to be responsible for the products and treatments that they receive from physios, as this was the case in this situation. When it comes to the WADA statement, it sort of suggested this was an agreement put in place. That has raised eyebrows from a lot of people because they're thinking, well, how can you have an agreement? Do you understand why some are a bit critical of that?
Yeah, I can understand. I said before, all the story has been managed in a not so transparent way. For if you're a normal guy who is not so into the matter and into the details and the technicism, is not easy to understand.
Yeah.
But I did ask to the agency if they can say why they took this decision to reach an agreement.
Mm.
And James Fitzgerald, who is the media chief of the agency, told me it's not something new, because there is a point in the rules that you can apply a code, a comma, that it says that under special circumstances you can reach an agreement, because they understand that Yannick doesn't want to cheat, and but they have to save the principle of the responsibility. So after the all the after this agreement has been published, we understand that there have been a lot of talkings between the lawyers, the Sinner's lawyers, and the agency, and there is this specific code, 10.8, 10.8.2, if I can remember well the number, that says that under specific circumstances you can apply this special treatment, and then you can punish, but not so strong, so hard,
Mm.
the players, but you can save your principle. I think this is the problem is we all know the thing after they did happen. So this is sounds strange, because of the some I mean, some players, all the people involved in tennis, we would like to know the things in advance, how can the story can develop. And so I think this is the crucial point. We have to change something. We have to change the procedure. We have to
Mm.
change, maybe simplify the procedure, and we have to decide, because another thing that people don't understand is you have the individual, I would say, the ITIA, that has a verdict and say is innocent, and then the other 10 try to appeal. And then there is the international court. So many
Mm.
organization, and people doesn't understand. The people that don't understand why so many, why it's so different organization from different places can judge the same case.
Mm.
And so and also we know that in the past we had other similar but not uh, totally identical cases in the past, with Simona Halep and
Mm.
other tennis players that have been judged in a different way. So I think this is the main problem. We have to solve this.
Yeah, and that's something I think Novak Djokovic has sort of alluded to, hasn't he? Suggesting that if you have access to the top lawyers, then you can argue your case, as Sinner may have done so in this particular situation, whereas others haven't been able to do that. And it's a case of the have and the have-nots, isn't it? At the end of
Like
the
in
day.
life, like in
Yeah,
life.
absolutely. But it does make sense that
Yeah,
really that someone like Novak Djokovic, who is such a big figurehead in tennis, is speaking up and saying it needs to be a fairer playing field.
yeah. I agree with Novak. I was in Doha. I did ask him the question if I think there is another point to investigate is more important to the privacy of the players, of the transparency of the rules. And he said, I have no real answer. We have to discuss that. We have to reach a point, and he said, I cannot say is the privacy is more important than the transparency of the rules at this point. But this is surely a point that we have to discuss. Otherwise, everything going individual. Every case stays by its own, and then you don't have a general rule, which is not good for tennis, for sports, and for all the athletes that are involved.
Mm. As we said, he wasn't found guilty of any wrongdoing. I know one of his lawyers said, look, this was the best case scenario because they were concerned that if they took it to the Court of Arbitration for
You never
Sport, which is
know.
what WADA wanted, it could have been longer. But do you think he will be forever tainted, or is tennis a forgiving sport?
I don't know. I think here in Italy, as I said before, is still popular.
Yeah.
The commercials are still flowing, so I don't see any major impact on his figure, public personality. if you talk about tennis in general, I don't know, because I felt that there is no such an empathy for Yannick from from the ambience, from the milieu of
Mhm.
tennis.
Mhm.
Many athletes say have doubt, and they say not so emphatic comments. So maybe there is something that we have to wait and see, because
Mhm.
maybe at the beginning of the international, the Italian Open, we will see what's going on, how he'll be welcomed from the community, because somebody, as you said before, somebody feel that is a privilege, that is
Mm.
it's
Mm.
the fortunate son of the tennis, and this is not it's not good for him, because he's I asked to for example, to Matteo Berrettini, the other Italian tennis player. I said, when you won a tournament, and during the ceremony at the end, you're always very, 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 there is friendship flowing in the air. For the team, for my opponent, is very good. It's a great play, gonna win. And then I said, uh, because of this case involving Yannick, everybody says, "I'm not sure. There is something that is not good. He should be punished in a stronger way." So Eddie said that, but it's that in tennis we have tennis friendship. It's not the real friendship.
Mm.
So it's interesting also to observe how the tennis milieu will react on the long period, because right now I don't feel that all the community is totally on Yannick's side.
No.
Even if Yannick is a very good guy, he's not a controversial, he's not a Nick Kyrgios, he's not somebody can make this discuss. So if you remember the Australian Open, when he was very, very, very nice to Zverev, that lost the final. They were, hugging. So he's a very nice guy, but suddenly there is a shadow hanging over him. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right to mention someone like Nick Kyrgios, because he says fairness in tennis doesn't exist as a result of this. I know that the three-time major champion Stan Wawrinka said, "I don't believe tennis is a clean sport anymore," and that's where I was coming from with the tainted part of Sinner now, sadly for him going forward because of this. You mentioned obviously he's skiing now; he's enjoying
yeah,
a bit of a break. 3 months isn't too long for him to get back in shape, to get back in preparation for the Italian Open and then the French Open as well.
it's a long period, or maybe it's a short one. It depends on the point of view. I think he's gonna train. Now he's just relaxing,
Yeah.
because as probably he loves skiing. He's a very good skier, and he's enjoying his sometimes with his family, and it's good enough. Then he will have to start to train again, mainly from the physical point. The
Mhm.
physical part will be the most important, at least at the beginning, because you can lose easily your shape if you don't train. And then he will start to play again. He cannot train with in an official structures connected with the federation, or the ATP, or the
Mhm.
WTA. And so, but I don't think it will be a great problem to find some private structures, some courts in some villas of some friends. I think he probably will change the location of the training. Maybe he can probably he can go back to Dubai, or maybe he will choose to move to the USA, where Danica Hill lives. So maybe they can find some arrangements, and do some
Mhm.
work there. And after the ban of the for the training, the official training will stop the middle of April. Maybe he can go back to Monte Carlo, where he lives, and then he can maybe try to focus on the tennis side, and on the tennis on clay, which is not his bare surface. So it's also, this one is a question mark, because as I said, on hard courts he is clearly the best tennis players in the world at the moment. But on clay, it's a different sport, and maybe he had to prepare very well, and without official matches it's not easy to
Mm.
find the pace, the rhythm of the competition. So it's a crucial question. I think but I trust in Yannick teams. I trust in his determination. He's a very professional guy, so I think he will do everything he can.
And I've seen the front cover of your Il Tennis Italiano magazine,
Yeah.
Jannik front and center. What's the what's the sort of story behind this? Is the magazine just backing him to come good eventually? Like once he's back from his ban, not
we are, we
eventually
are,
because he's very
we
good.
we are trying to understand which is the headlines is the future of Yannick. So I think he can leave this all this story on his back, and then go further. We are trying to investigate if he's a chance to win the Grand Slam,
Mm.
because of the length of the ban was very clever, let's say this.
Mhm.
So there is no major. I mean, two 1,000 tournament will be missed, but then the Italian Open and the Grand Slams are safe. So he's the Australian champion, and so maybe he has a shot to complete the Grand Slam, and so we are trying to investigate if it's possible. I think is not easy. It's probably the most difficult task in tennis to complete the Grand Slam. We saw a few years ago Djokovic face in the very last leg of his journey. But then maybe because the competition is not so strong like in the last 15 years.
Mm.
We used to have Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, and Wawrinka and other great players. Now the maybe there is Alcaraz, there is still Djokovic, but he's older. Alcaraz has a lot of ups and downs. So probably if he's in at the top of his condition, he has one chance to do it. The very difficult part for him is the clay, I think, less
Mhm.
than the grass. So we are trying to understand what's going on, if he has a chance, and at the end of the story, that we like to think that he has a chance.
Yeah. Just lastly, Stefano, just tell us, because already on this sporting planet, we've spoken about Italian tennis and how incredible it is right now. How has that happened? What has happened behind the scenes to suddenly find a Sinner, a Paolini, a Berrettini that you mentioned as well?
Well, if you have 1 hour or more, I can I can try to know. I try to be quick. It's a mix of things. It's not just one. There is no secret. First, you have to have a good players. They are coming all at the same time, and then we have in the last 10 years, last 15 years, we used to have a lot of tournament in Italy,
Mm.
from the juniors level to the future to the challengers to the ATP, and that's is very very good for the players, because they don't have to spend so much money to train, to go to confront, to play with a good level. So this is helps, because tennis is still an expensive sport. We have a very good coaches. There are former players like Vincenzo Santopadre or Simone Vagnozzi, all at the same time. In the maybe 10 years ago, uh, maybe the federation and the private teams, they were fighting each other, and now the situation is changed. The federation helps the teams, and the federation also encourage a program to play on hardcourt, to have more hardcourts in Italy, because our traditional surface is clay,
Yeah.
but now tennis is a hardcourt sports, mostly. And so all these things together, and then suddenly you have, for example, Fabio Fognini, who won 1,000 in Monte Carlo, and starts the thinking that also an Italian can do very well. And then comes Berrettini with the
Mm.
final in Wimbledon, and then Sinner. And then Sinner is a talent. You cannot, you cannot program the talents. But in this milieu, in this general condition, you can develop the talents much more better than in the past. So it's a mix of the situation that helps us, and then a little bit is luck. As
Mm.
I was in Doha, and Rublev said, you cannot program to have um, many players from the same country in the same moment. It happens in Russia, but for example, in France right now, they have a very good structure, very good coaches, a lot of tournament, but they didn't have the very the number one or the top
Mm.
tens. So it's sometimes is also luck.
Yeah.
But we work, all the Italian system work very hard to have luck. So
Yeah.
it's
You got to create your luck sometimes, and
uh,
that's what that is with all these tournaments that you're saying are taking place. Maybe the future really is bright for Italian tennis, which is
I
quite
hope so. We
exciting.
hope so.